all who come to this happy place, welcome to Lilo and Stitches.
And we're your hosts, Chris.
And Jen. Alright guys, this is going to be our intro. This is going to be our intro video. I personally am not a first time YouTuber, but this is our first time doing any Disney content. So, I'm extremely nervous, even though I have a lot of experience with this. And
She's a professional YouTuber.
Okay. I have another channel called Cinnamon Stitches, and I do yarn-related podcasts. That is my job. I talk about knitting, crochet, and yarn art in general. His job is kind of boring. We don't want to talk about that.
Nice.
But our hopes for this channel is to bring you fun, family-friendly Disney content because we are huge Disney fans. And some of the topics that we want to cover are
things like, being overweight at Disney, being a bigger person when we visit Disney. What about the food?
Yeah, we love food.
We do. Planning. I mean, I love to plan.
He's the planner.
She doesn't plan.
The planning video aspect of this channel will be good old Chris here. He's going to do most of those videos because I let him plan it all. He's a little bit of a control freak, but we won't talk about that.
There's a lot I think that we'll be able to talk about on this channel. And obviously with COVID, things have changed. But we certainly want to be able to, talk about our experiences and kind of share with you our experiences.
And I will say that we do have children. So our children may or may not be in some of the videos, but they will not be a main feature of this channel. It's not our intent at all. But especially our son wants to make his own section. He told me today that he wants to be a food correspondent. He's 6. So he wants to tell you about all the delicious food that he's had, which he likes every food he has ever eaten at Disney World. It is not the same at home. He's a picky eater, but Disney World, he'll eat it because it's Mickey food. We also have a teenage daughter who has no intentions of being in any of these videos because she's a teenager. But we also have 2 teenage nieces who are kind of like bonus children to us. And so we have experience with taking 4 children to Disney World. So that will also be part of some topics on the channel.
And I think too, I mean, we are Disney Vacation Club owners. We last year bought Resale.
That's going to be something else we definitely want to talk about.
Somebody may have comments about that and what that is. But we're Disney Vacation Club owners. We're annual pass holders. We don't live in Florida, so we're not there every day.
Yeah, we're in Virginia.
Yep.
And we do not have experience with flying to Disney because we don't fly. We drive. So if you have any questions about driving and how to handle long-term driving and all that good stuff, we can answer those questions, but not so much the flying.
And we certainly want to try to make sure you guys are up to date on some of the things that are going on. You may be interested in going down and checking some stuff out and seeing what's going on. How's it going now with masks and things like that? And sure, there's other videos out there that show you, but how is it for a bigger person walking around all day in the heat with a mask on?
We definitely can give you the experience with that, and that's going to be probably one of our first videos, handling the heat with the masks, and how to deal with the crankiness that goes along with that.
I think all in all, we just really want to share our love for Disney, and particularly our love for Disney World and traveling to Disney World. It's just become a huge part of our family, and it's something that we want to share with everybody. I've told my wife this before. I've told Jen this before. If I had millions and millions of dollars, every kid in the world would get to go to Disney World whenever they wanted.
Yeah. That's why we take our nieces. We also have a baby niece who we are going to be taking on her first trip when all of this virus stuff is somewhat past. Just because her mom's not ready to do any of it. They want to experience the full experience of Disney for their first visit because they have not been at all. And that's going to be kind of some cool tips for, future videos.
Yeah. About being a mom, with a baby at Disney World. We have experienced that.
Yeah.
She's experienced that. I have experienced being the dad. But we've had those experiences and what that's like. But
yeah.
I guess really to kind of get into it, I mean, when did you become a Disney fan?
I became a Disney fan. Now we did go. Our first trip to as a family to any Disney park was when my daughter was about 1, so about 15 years ago, give or take. And we went to Disneyland in California. And that is not at all when the Disney bug hit me. But a couple years later, we saved up and we made our first trip to Disney World. And what was that, 2009?
2009.
That's when the Disney bug hit hard.
We ended up going 3 times that year because we went once and we're like, oh my God, we loved it. And then we went back again. And then we had to take our nieces and went back again.
Yeah. Now for you, when did you get bit by the Disney bug?
So for me, I mean, I grew up in Southern California. So my grandparents would take us to Disneyland every so often. So, you know, I've been to Disneyland probably 10, 12 times as a kid. But it was never... You know, I loved Disneyland. I thought it was a cool place to be, but it was never something that I had to go do all the time. And then especially after I grew up and I moved away, I never gave it a second thought. And when we went to Disneyland, it was just kind of, hey, we're in California, let's take our daughter to Disneyland. But it wasn't until, like Jen said, and sometime in 2009, for some reason, there was a ton of Disney World commercials that were coming on. And it was everywhere we're turning, there was a Disney World commercial. It was like they were telling us, go to Disney World. And so we went. And I think that first trip, you know, it kind of was like, that was it. You know, it was like, oh my God, what Disneyland, and no offense to Disneyland aficionados and people who love Disneyland. My personal belief, and that's me personally, is Disney World is 10 times what Disneyland is. Disneyland, unfortunately, is so compact that there's so little room for stuff there. And
I think you're probably offending all the Disneyland fans.
Yeah.
I don't have enough experience to base an opinion on Disneyland versus Disney World.
Right.
Disneyland was really neat to me in a lot of ways, and it is Walt's original park. It is where he walked, and the whole idea of that is something so magical and so special that Disneyland is a very unique and special park just because that is Walt's park. So let's not discount any of that. But
and
to
that's
us, Walt Disney World is, because there are the 4 parks and there is so much more, but with the resorts and the dining and the entire experience of a vacation. I think that's probably why Walt Disney World is our preference. And I think it's just that alone. It's a bigger experience for us. And we are planning a future trip to Disneyland.
Yep.
We're going to try to make it there next summer if everything, settles back down. And so that will be a really good opportunity for us to do like a contrast comparison of the parks, even though there really isn't much of a contrast or compare because they are 2 separate things.
Right.
But I think that will be neat for something in the future for us to plan to do.
I think that's the one takeaway that I have is obviously I haven't experienced Disneyland in 20 years, almost 20 years, and so it has significantly changed over time. And I don't know what it's like today,
Right.
but I know when we went to Disney World, it was something different, and it just was something magical. If you want to say that, it was magical for us.
Yeah.
And we've taken our kids back every year, and we started out, we're misplanning here and there, little, things and learning over time how to do things, different tricks and different tips, and that's where we got. And so that's kind of when my love of Disney World, really kind of came about. I've always loved Disney movies, loved the Disney cartoons, and Disney movies and things like that. But it was going to Disney World that really kind of opened that up to me.
Yeah. So hopefully the plan with this is that we will have travel tips, family tips, finance tips, because nobody wants to spend a lot of money. And so we're really good at trying to save money in every way we can. So we're going to try to incorporate a little bit of that into the channel. We're going to try to incorporate a lot of fun and lots of experience to share with you guys. And so that's our introduction video, and we're really glad you're here, and we hope you stick around for more videos in the future.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
See ya.